We probably could like bunch together a little bit more.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here on this Tuesday morning. I'm Myra Ansari. We are going to a press conference that's happening at Seneca High School today. It's a group of public school advocates. They formed a fight the constitutional amendment that will be on the November ballot, asking voters if they think state funds should be able to be spent on non-public schools. They are just starting their press conference.
Testing. All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Corey Schull, and I am proud to serve as the board chair of the Jefferson County Public Schools. We're excited to host this event today here at Seneca High School, and I'm happy to be here alongside these tremendous leaders and advocates in public education. While we've just wrapped up another school year here in Jefferson County, we've gathered here today because this is a critical time in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. It's a critical time because public education is the center of the attention as it relates to the future of our Commonwealth. And we need to raise awareness about what is at stake for our public schools and our communities in this fall election. During the 2024 legislative session, lawmakers passed HB 2. It is a piece of legislation that places a constitutional amendment on the ballot this November. This amendment, if passed, would allow the General Assembly to fund schools outside of the system of common or public schools in Kentucky. To be clear, it would allow for public money to be funneled to unaccountable private schools by way of vouchers. Amendment 2, or the voucher amendment as we call it, paves the way for our state to begin writing blank checks to private schools using public tax dollars that should go to public schools and the students therein. This voucher agreement would siphon tax dollars away from our public districts and starve students of critical resources that they need to receive the strongest, most equitable education possible, and which ultimately helps set them up for a lifetime of success. Because of what's on the line, the stakes are high for our families, our schools, our communities, and our Commonwealth at large. That's why we're here today, because we are not going to let this happen. I'm proud to be here today to stand alongside these leaders and many others across the Commonwealth to announce the launch of the Protect Our Schools Kentucky. Protect Our Schools Kentucky is a coalition of public education advocates and allied organizations committed to defeating the voucher amendment on the November 2024 general election ballot. Protect Our Schools Kentucky is committed to safeguarding our public schools and standing up for all students, teachers, all families, and all communities. Like I said before, I stand here today as a proud product of public education. I'm a proud father of students within the Jefferson County Public School System, and I'm proud to be here to stand up for kids, teachers, and families and communities in this district and districts across the Commonwealth. I urge all of you to vote no on Amendment 2 and learn more about this effort at protectourschools.ky.com.
Good morning. My name is Maddie Shepard, and I've been a teacher in Jefferson County since 2017. I now serve as the president of the Jefferson County Teachers Association, and I'm here today to proudly stand with the Protect Our Schools Kentucky campaign against Amendment 2, the voucher amendment. I'm here today to fight for public education, to show up and to stand in the gap for kids and educators across our community, because public educators and public education has always stood up for me. Growing up, schools were always where I felt the most at home. It was the place where I felt like I most belonged. Public school educators have served as my role models, my teachers, my cheerleaders, my support system throughout my entire life. School has always been my home base. There are thousands of Kentuckians who depend on public schools, just like I did growing up. Yes, we provide educational opportunities for everyone that walks into our doors, but our schools and teachers provide so much more than that. We rely on our schools for community, for support, and more often than we'd like to admit, for basic necessities like food and clothing. For many across our Commonwealth, school serves as a home base. I wholeheartedly believe that the communities are only as strong as the public schools within them. If Amendment 2, the voucher amendment, passes, money will be taken away from public schools and given to unaccountable private schools. In every state where vouchers exist, the costs of these schemes balloon and ultimately end up funding students that are already in private schools. As these voucher scheme costs increase over time, they put even more of a strain on public school dollars that our communities need to thrive. While we have seen our fair share of challenges in JCPS, a voucher scheme that does not serve all kids is not a solution. Our public schools are the backbone of our community, of all of the communities across Kentucky. We can't let voucher schemes into this state. They will devastate our public schools. We need to stand together and vote no on Amendment 2, the voucher amendment.
Hello, good morning. My name is Natalie Rashad, and I'm a middle school math teacher at W.E.B. Du Bois Academy right here in Jefferson County Public Schools. I'm proud to be here today with Protect Our Schools Kentucky to speak against Amendment 2, the voucher amendment that is on the ballot this November in Kentucky. Not only am I a JCPS teacher, but I'm also a JCPS graduate from a magnet program, the Youth Performing Arts program within DuPont Manual High School. I can speak firsthand to how having an individualized learning experience and enjoying school each day can impact student achievement. To love learning and your learning environment is so meaningful. It was so meaningful for me that I decided to become a teacher and to return to the very district that helped make me who I am in order to give these opportunities and experiences to my students today. The students that I serve come from many different backgrounds, and they're counting on me and us to protect every opportunity so that we can meet their needs. If this voucher amendment passes, I worry that it will affect my students, our students, and our communities. Vouchers divert critical resources away from public schools and instead send them to unaccountable private schools. In every state that vouchers are present, these costs skyrocket over time, and the strain placed on public schools by voucher schemes becomes too much and leads to radical disinvestment in public schools. Vouchers would lead to cuts in services that we would typically be able to provide for our students and families. This would make the teacher shortage worse and would cut positions and again require us to do more with less. Public education provides opportunities for all students. No matter where you come from or what your situation is, you can receive a high quality education if you step inside the doors of a public school. Our students, our communities, our families deserve the absolute best that we can offer them. Our ancestors knew that education was the pathway to freedom. That was true then, and it continues to be true today. So please vote no on Amendment 2, the voucher amendment, on this November's ballot.
Hi, my name is Autumn Nagel. I'm a parent of 2 children. My son graduated in 2023, and my daughter is an incoming 3rd grader right here in JCPS. I'm also the president-elect of the Kentucky Parent Teacher Association, and I am proud to be here to speak on behalf of the Parents Point for Protect Our Schools Kentucky. I am so grateful for the public school system. I am an avid reader, and it broke my heart when my daughter began struggling with reading. She always loved to look at books and make up stories, but struggled to remember and really grasp concepts and the sounds and phonics in general. She was diagnosed through the public school system to have a reading disability. The public school system then used those resources that were publicly funded by public tax dollars to get her the resources in her classroom to help her to learn to read. She now loves reading. She works on it with her EC teacher in her classroom every day. They use that, the tax dollars use that to actually get the resources for her and the techniques. And my daughter is now thriving in that. I'm also an active PTA member, and I like knowing where my tax dollars are going. In the public schools instead of the unaccountable private schools. The great thing about being in the public is that I have a say in it. The public has a say in the school and the school district. We elect the school board, and we have a say in what is going on there. And a private school that is not public, it's who owns it, who controls it, and ultimately who profits from it. A private school, if this gets passed, will get money. And there are no resources for me to see their budget, to speak at their board meetings, if they even have them, and even complain since I do not have a right over their private school. As a private school, they can spend that money any way they choose. I find this wrong on so many levels. We should be not writing blank checks to private entities. Instead, when our public schools should have it all, and they serve all. We all want what is best for our children, and what is best for the public funds is to stay with the public accountable school system. Public schools are for everyone. They do not restrict who attends, not by religious beliefs, not by the student is smart or well-behaved or good, or even by wealth. If it's everyone, it is for everyone, and it is to keep it for everyone. We need to protect it. I urge you to join with us to protect our students, schools, and our families by voting no to the constitutional amendment. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Soliana Mesfin. I'm a Jefferson County Public Schools graduate and an incoming third year at the University of Louisville. I served as the first student member on the Kentucky Board of Education and as a senior advisor and board member to the Kentucky Student Voice team, as well as a post-secondary representative on the Commonwealth Education Continuum. I'm honored to speak with you all today to stand with Protect Our Schools in Kentucky. My success in education policy as a young student is due to the resources provided by public education. Supportive counselors and teachers, peers from different districts, and guidance from diverse stakeholders all helped me pursue my dreams of student advocacy and education reform at a young age. As a first-generation, low-income Black student, I often struggled to find community and build my aspirational goals. Excelling academically, building leadership skills, and striving to impact my community wasn't always easy, but with the resources that elevated my career goals and personal relationships that bolstered my determination, I graduated with empowerment and enthusiasm. Public education taught me I had a purpose. During my tenure on the Kentucky Board of Education, I witnessed how Kentucky public schools have supported students in numerous ways. While they provide a high-quality education to students across the Commonwealth, they also do much more than that. From housing students during natural disasters to helping them navigate the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, our public schools have consistently been a cornerstone for communities across the Commonwealth. Although Kentucky is abundant in these resources, stakeholders in public education must always strive to protect these resources to continue to meet the needs of a diverse student population. It is imperative that taxpayer dollars be allocated to just fund public schools. We must stop Amendment 2. If passed, Amendment 2, the Voucher Amendment, will allow for critical resources to be diverted away to unaccountable private schools. These fundamental resources are directly linked to a student's ability to succeed, and without them, we are doing our students a great disservice. Every student deserves access to quality education regardless of their background or financial situation. This voucher amendment will undermine the very foundation of equitable education and exacerbate existing disparities within our education systems. By diverting funds to private institutions that are not held to the same standards of accountability as public schools, we risk devastating our public schools and damaging our community. There is so much at stake in November. It is crucial that we stand together to protect the integrity and future of our public schools. By voting no on Amendment 2, we can ensure that public education remains a priority, providing all students with the opportunities and support they need to succeed. Let us commit to investing in our public schools, empowering students, and echoing the work of Protect Our Schools Kentucky. Thank you.
Okay, if you all want to do a one-on-one interview with any of the folks, just let me know and we'll pull them. I don't know if you all will want to move your cameras or what, but anybody want a one-on-one interview?
I'd love to talk to PTA president, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Autumn Nagel.
Autumn, yeah, I would love to talk to you.
Okay, also, just so you know, I think I've said this to most of you, but I will email you all their names and titles as soon as this is over. Autumn, if you want to go back there.
I also want on them, so.
Okay.
Can I?
Okay, Dr. We'll go back here.
Yeah.
Would you like to sit in? You're good? Okay.